Gunman. I love this game. Prove who's the fastest draw in the West. So, this was an NES game with the light gun, 1985. It's a quick draw game. So, here, after a certain amount of time, you've got here, the guy will say fire, and then that timer will start ticking up at the top. Once the timer reaches that number that shows under the gunman, he will fire, and then you will lose. So, you know, that number shows how many seconds you have between him saying fire and him shooting. And as you can see, they are quicker on the draw as the difficulty level goes up. If you fire too early, it's a foul, and that's a miss. And naturally, if you fire too late, then you get shot, and that's a miss. And I will again note that the actual number shown here is always the accurate amount of seconds, and it gets very short timing as the game gets fast. Like, it gets to the point where you need to guess and anticipate when he's going to say fire, because you have 0.3 seconds between when he says fire and when he shoots you. There. So,
Yeah, you kind of need to.
0.2 seconds. That's not, like... I don't remember exactly what the physical maximum limit on human reaction time is.
Yeah, there's an amount of time required for your button to depress, or for your finger to depress the button.
There is a physical limit to the amount of time that it takes for the light from the screen to reach your eyes, your brain to process the signal from your eyes, send that signal to your arm and push the button.
LazerBlazer.
LazerBlazer.
Laser, yeah.
Take out the enemy missiles. What a classic. So, 1992, SNES with the Super Scope.
Oh, back to the Super Scope, the ultimate weapon of destruction.
The Super Scope, which was the light gun for the SNES, whereas the Zapper was the light gun for the NES.
I love the Super Scope.
Yeah, Super Scope's pretty cool. I never had a SNES myself, so obviously I never had a Super Scope. I do still have my NES Zapper, though. In the microgame here, the number of missiles that you need to shoot is equal to the difficulty level. Much like Duck Hunt, you've got a reticle on screen, but this time you move it with the directions. You've got D-pad to move. You can only fire when the reticle locks onto a missile, but there's nothing stopping you from mashing A as you move the reticle around, and then it will instantly shoot as soon as the reticle is in the right, like, close enough to the missile to be a lock-on. So, like, that's what you kind of want to do, is mash A as you move the reticle around, because otherwise it's a little bit finicky with when it locks on, and especially once it gets faster, the movement is hard to control. So, yeah, you need to shoot all the missiles, number of missiles equal to difficulty level. If the missiles reach past the left edge of the screen, then you've lost.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I said, I don't have anything to say much about this, the actual game, because I never had a SNES, I never had a Super Scope. But, I don't know, maybe let's talk about light gun games.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of weird and interesting light gun games. Like, the way that it works is honestly kind of clever, I find. Because, you know, the light gun peripheral, it's basically like a camera. You know, it doesn't fire anything out. When you pull the trigger, it detects light. Like, it detects the light coming in from the lens. There's a lens at, like, the barrel of the gun.
Right.
And when you fire, it'll detect light coming in. And, the NES light games that I'm familiar with, when you fire, it would, like, flash white on the screen, and there'd be, like, a certain pattern of, you know, things, and if that white is close enough to the center of the image that the lens sees, then it detects it as a hit. So, yeah, it's a very clever way to do it with incredibly simplistic and limited image processing technology of the 1980s.
Yeah.
Anyway, here is our boss. It is the Ultra Machine.
What?
Batter up! Can you connect with the pitches? Watch for the changeup. So, yeah, 1968. Batting machine for home use that electronically fired ping pong balls. This was another toy that Nintendo made the Ultra Machine, it's a pitching machine. It pitches little ping pong balls that you can use for, like, baseball bat practice swinging.
Uh-huh.
This was another big hit in Japan as a toy that Nintendo made. This was one of their biggest hits, along with the Ultra Hand. And this is another one that showed up a couple of times in, like, Animal Crossing and probably a few other games. That it's a pitching machine.
Yep.
That's about it.
Difficulty is the number of balls you need to hit.
Yep. So the microgame here, you need to hit a certain number of balls. It's 6 on difficulty 1, 7 on difficulty 2, 8 on difficulty 3. It has a variety of different pitches. It can do like a fastball. It can do a more moderate thing. If you can do more of a lob, sometimes the ball disappears because, as we know, the vanish pitch is a common thing? Question mark?
Yeah.
And you need to hit enough things. As soon as you've hit enough balls to fill in your little pink meter there, you win. If you miss any balls, it fills in from the right with black. If you've missed too many, then it's the game over loss. This is, for me, the hardest boss stage in this game. I am bad at baseball, I guess. It's a very reaction thing, and like, you need to see how the ball is moving and decide what amount of time you need to wait to swing. But sometimes it goes so fast that, like, by the time I've processed that it's moving fast, I'm already too late to swing for it. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old and my reactions are getting slow, but I could not get with this one consistently. I couldn't really get this on level 3, like, at all.
Yeah, that bodes poorly for the next games in the 30 years.
Yeah,
30
I
years
am a
from now.
bit concerned about
We're
the fact
60
that this
years
game is...
old and still playing Mario games.
Yeah. It's entirely possible that this series might go on so long that I cannot continue it because I'm too old and my reactions don't match up for,
And we have to
for
play
beating the
Wii games
anymore.
and our hips are breaking.
I will try to stay in good health. I play so many video games that I'm like, I feel like my reactions are going to stay as good as they possibly can as I age, especially compared to people who just don't do anything ever.
Well,
But
that was 9-volt.
yeah, that was 9-volt. That was Nintendo.
Join us next time for the next 3
Yeah,
friends.
next row we'll start with Orbulon.